We're really blessed to have someone in Congress that takes her time out of her busy schedule to jump on an airplane, fly over here, talk to you, give you words of wisdom, and at least we get to see her again because we all love her. None other than our Congresswoman and Major United States Army, Tulsi Gabbard.
Aloha. Aloha. It's always a wonderful day to be here on Kauai. I'm especially grateful to be here with all of you on this special day and in this special place. Ceremonies like the one we are gathered here for today are more important now, I think, than ever, because we live in a time where too often people look forward to Memorial Day because of a big sale or an extra day off or a long weekend, unfortunately not giving even a thought to what this day is actually all about. Even with the best of intentions, we often hear people say, "Happy Memorial Day," without realizing that this day is not such a happy one for so many. Ask any Gold Star family who has gone through the unimaginable loss of a loved one what Memorial Day is all about. They'll tell you it's not such a happy day. And they will tell you that this is the day when our country has the opportunity to come together and recognize and honor the men and women who gave their lives in service to our country. Like so many of you, I woke up this morning with a heavy heart, remembering the faces of our friends, of our loved ones, and our memories of them. The last time that we shared a laugh, remembering that one time in training or downrange, when things were so crappy that all we could do was laugh and know that we had each other and embrace the suck. And remembering that last roll call, when their name was called with no response, and giving them that last and final salute to their empty boots, their helmet, and their rifle. So while we carry their memories with us always, today is the day that our country sets aside every year to gather together, pause, and honor them, their lives, their service, and sacrifice. So as we are gathering here today on Kauai, people are gathering on every island all across the state and across the country. In places like this, where our heroes have been laid to rest. And on this day, we are reminded of the very high real cost of war and who pays that price. That cost exists within the names on these gravestones. It exists in our hearts, with the memories of our friends who never came home. It also exists within the unbreakable bond that we as veterans, even of many different generations, have with each other. That we can come together even as total strangers, but know that in one way or another, we have each experienced the same pain and broken heart of losing a comrade in arms, while simultaneously appreciating the special courage and selflessness that our friends who paid the ultimate price in service to our country embody. Ever since I was elected to Congress, every year, the week before Memorial Day, there's a handful of my colleagues and I who go very early in the morning to visit Arlington National Cemetery to pay a silent tribute to our fallen heroes. There's no media cameras, there's no crowds, there's no fanfare, just a small group of us gathering together, reflecting and remembering those who have sacrificed all, and the responsibility that we carry as members of Congress. This is important because too often we have found throughout our country's history, we have people in positions of power who make offhanded comments about sending a few thousand troops here, 50,000 there, 100,000 there, intervening militarily here or starting a war there, without seeming to understand or appreciate the cost of war, and that those numbers they seem to throw around carelessly actually represent real people, someone's son or daughter, husband or wife, mom or dad. They don't seem to understand that as these service members say goodbye to their families and their loved ones before they deploy, they all go through an experience of knowing in their heart of hearts that that could be their last goodbye. They don't seem to think about the anxiety that these families live with every day, that their loved ones are serving abroad, as they pray for their safe return, and every day dreading that phone call or knock on the door that could forever turn their worlds upside down. During my first deployment to Iraq with the Hawaii Army National Guard, I did not understand or appreciate the stress that my family went through. I was focused on my mission, on doing my job. When I'd call home, I'd talk to mom and dad about what was going on, and they didn't seem to share the same kind of excitement about what I was doing that I was expressing. But it was very early in the morning when we came home. The plane landed, we stepped off, smelled the beautiful Hawaii trade winds, beautiful pink sky. We had that last formation and the general released us after what had been a very long 18-month deployment. And I ran to my family and I gave my dad a big hug first. And it was at that moment that it hit me, because it was the first time I'd ever seen my dad cry. These leaders don't seem to realize that the cost of war is not limited to those who make that ultimate sacrifice. It exists within our veterans who come home with wounds that are both visible and invisible. It exists within those who survive oftentimes multiple deployments, very rigorous and tough combat, only to come home and to lose the battle with post-traumatic stress and take their own lives. So what we must demand of our nation's leaders, as we honor those who have paid the ultimate price, that if our troops are sent to fight a war, it must be the last option, not the first. We must give them a clear mission and an end state, and make sure that those missions are truly worthy of the great sacrifice that our service members and their families make. This is how we can best honor both our brothers and sisters whose lives are lost, as well as those who serve today and into the future. So while we shed tears and share stories of our friends today, honoring and remembering them, celebrating the lives that they lived, let's remember who they were, their strength, their courage, and their deep love for our country. Let's make sure that today and every day we honor them and make sure that they are never forgotten. And take advantage of the time and the life that each of us has been granted by doing our best to live our own lives of service, making a positive impact on those around us. I'm grateful to be here to join all of you today to remember all of them. Mahalo. Love you too.
Actually, we all do. Gosh, I'm trying to get through this without shedding a tear, and she does it to me. I remember when my dad came home. What a moment. What a moment.